pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome. First thing on our agenda is a presentation from our friends at Camp Ripley. We'll turn the podium over to them at this point.
Thank you very much for having us again this year. This is very similar to what you probably saw last year from us. Last year we did have a major training exercise going on the base of the XCTC with 2nd Brigade. This year we are not looking to do any large exercises, but there will be some high water marks coming up here in April and June where we're going to be pretty busy on the base. So just to get started, Camp Ripley's mission, right? I underline positive community relations really because I think it's very important to be a community member. We live here, we train here, we work here. So I think it's very important to provide that very positive outlook and being part of our community. This is really no different of me coming around to the local communities and giving an update or some transparency for the communities to understand what is really going on the installation. Some of the Minnesota leadership, again, this has not changed. Major General Sean Mankey, he is the Adjutant General of the state of Minnesota and is my boss. And then his command chief, Master Sergeant Lisa Erickson, the senior ranking enlisted personnel for the Minnesota Guard. Looking at the 34th ID, these folks had just returned from Operation Spartan Shield overseas. So Major General Charles Kemper and Command Sergeant Major Matthew Erickson are now back, busy doing reintegration activities as they transition back to the civilian side of the house. And then obviously Camp Ripley's leadership, myself and then my Command Sergeant Major Ryan Hofstead. We are day in and day out running Camp Ripley and in the smaller training center just north of the cities, which we call AHATS. Some data in terms of economic impact around the area and the region here. Nearly about $83 million in terms of the economic stability in the area. I think we employ a little over 800 employees Monday through Friday, and then we surge up to about 1,000 employees during the summer months. That hasn't changed all that much, but you can kind of see how the breakout in terms of the dollars in different areas. And then obviously construction has been really good over the course of the year. If you haven't been on the installation lately, we're making quite a few changes in terms of some of the infrastructure available on the base. Our location, I think everybody is pretty familiar with where Camp Ripley is located. Just a little shy of 53,000 acres and obviously full of maneuver land and ranges. But really what I want to really address here on this slide is Camp Ripley is a level 2 training center, which there's only 5 levels of training center across the nation, 1 being the highest, 5 being the lowest. And Camp Ripley being a level 2 is basically anything that you want to do under the military's training protocols can actually be accomplished on Camp Ripley. The only real difference between a level 1 and a level 2 training center is that Camp Ripley does not mobilize soldiers out of Camp Ripley, but a level 1 can. So some of the accomplishments, and this just ties right into that second bullet up there. In 2024, Camp Ripley had the highest throughput across the nation in terms of training centers, and we were just beat out by obviously level 1 training centers that are a little bit larger than Camp Ripley and can handle some of the throughput in terms of mobilizations. So we're pretty proud of the fact that we stay pretty busy training all of our customers. As you can see, it's not just DOD, it is local and state interagency partners. Obviously, the DNR, State Patrol, are tenants on Camp Ripley, and they run their academies through Camp Ripley along with the Minnesota DOT Snowplow Academy. This is just support to civil authorities. Again, kind of gives you a methodology of how we get approval from the governor of the state of Minnesota to activate the Minnesota National Guard. So you have the incident. The incident comes to the sheriff's office. They reach out to Homeland Security Emergency Management, which then ultimately gets to the governor, and then an executive order to put soldiers from the Minnesota National Guard on state active duty. And these are just typical missions that we've been assigned to do across the state of Minnesota. A little bit of the construction update. We always like to talk about the construction because it is one of the biggest multipliers in terms of the economic impact, the jobs and salaries across the board. But we're looking to do an access control point, a new main gate, if you will, coming off of Highway 115. The existing main gate will obviously stay in place and remain kind of that iconic main gate that everybody sees pictures of all the time in terms of Camp Ripley. But this really enables us to meet all of the installation, force protection, anti-terrorism measures as it relates to an Army base. We continue to work on Area 5. It's been almost, I think, a little over a decade now when we started basically reinventing Area 5 from tin huts to year-round facilities. So that includes barracks, that includes dining facilities, supply areas, battalion and brigade level headquarters buildings. And then we're working on our pistol range. We're getting an upgrade there. As you all know, we probably in the news heard that the Army has gone to a new 9mm pistol. So the qualification standards and things are changing a little bit. So the range has to change a little bit to accommodate those requirements. And then obviously we're looking at renewing a lot of our older barracks that are existent on the base, and those are just simple renovation projects going in, putting in new mechanical. Mark probably can talk to you a lot better than I can about it because his team at the FMO deals with it on a daily basis. The museum update, if anybody's been on 371 headed towards Little Falls, I think it's hard to miss. So it's going up pretty quickly. We've got all the walls in. They're working on, I think, the ceiling or the roof decking currently. So we're really proud to be able to really display this proudly out on 371. And really it's good to be able to tell the Minnesota veteran story. And this venue or this place is really going to be, I think, state of the art and well deserved for all of our veterans in Minnesota. So as I mentioned, April and June are really kind of the high water marks for us in terms of throughput. June's probably going to be the noisiest. So for all of our civilians that are living relatively close to Camp Ripley, you're going to hear the windows rattle a little bit probably in June with the artillery. We've got a number of units coming through that month that are going to be shooting their cannons. And then obviously always aviation always seems to be something that everybody wants to talk about. Well, you know, I saw this thing fly over my house. What was it? You know, we typically have UH-60 Blackhawks, CH-47 Chinook helicopters, and then C-130 fixed-wing aircraft that are organic to the Minnesota Guard. We do also have a reserve unit out of Minneapolis that also flies C-130s, but that's on the reserve side. So that just shows you the rest of the summer. Basically, it's pretty normal throughput for us in terms of what we've seen in the past. I mentioned some of our state partnerships. DNR, State Patrol, like I said, have offices permanently on Camp Ripley, and that's really to help them facilitate and coordinate their academies. Homeland Security Emergency Management, obviously we have a very good relationship with those folks as well. And they were really the main reason we were able to get the emergency management facility built on Camp Ripley in the first place. So that partnership and that collaboration has always been really good for us. And then I suppose it's been about now, probably the last 5 or 6 years that we've been doing the Snowplow Academy for all of the Minnesota DOT folks. Soldier and family programs, again, Camp Ripley hosts numerous resources across the board. And really the reason I show this slide to everybody is that if you know a veteran or you know a family member of a veteran that needs support, have them reach out, have them utilize all of these resources available to them. So, some of the community outreach, this is pretty standard stuff annually for us. I'm just going to highlight this year is going to be the Camp Ripley Open House in September. So we're really looking forward to that. The last one we did, we didn't have the greatest weather in the morning, so we didn't get a lot of the aviation assets to show up and be displayed. But we're hoping this year that changes so that we can really showcase all the equipment that we have and that we use on Camp Ripley on a daily basis. Running into the environmental, the program again, environmental is super critical to running an Army installation, balancing all of the military training. We obviously are very destructive at times with our equipment. So it disturbs the environment and basically it really, if we don't have a good environmental team coming in behind us to either repair different things or kind of help us maintain the conservancy of the training lands, we won't be able to really do what we do every day. So these folks on my team are award-winning, fabulous folks that really do a great job in terms of helping us balance the environment with all of the military training. And these are just some of their partnerships. And I'm really excited about the Central Lakes College and the kids that come out to Camp Ripley to really get true field experience in our 53,000 acres. And the comments that we get back from Central Lakes College as well is all positive from all the kids that ever have come out there to do whatever we have them do. So I mean, I think it's a really good partnership. Prescribed burns, obviously, this is something we're going to look at, trying to get just about 15,000 acres burnt this spring here. So you can see the highlighted areas in the map of the areas that we're going to be focused on. And again, we do a very good, I mean, it's kind of hard with the weather sometimes, but we try to get things out on social media. We try to get things out on the radio stations on when we plan on doing these things, because you can imagine, police stations and fire departments getting phone calls all over the place that said, something's on fire, right? And it's typically us, right? But we don't want anybody to get alarmed. It's all controlled. And the team, again, we've got a fabulous team that does this for us. They're absolute experts when it comes to burning off lands, which also helps our environment. So, and all the undergrowth. The Army Compatible Use Buffer, again, this is a federal program that we support and try to enable. And again, it's really to keep the encroachment onto the training base, so people aren't building, either new homes or infrastructure close to Camp Brookley. It helps with the noise reduction, obviously, but it's really a good way to, if you own the land, you basically get to maintain the land. It's still your land, but you get paid by the federal government to enroll it into the program. Just the only one caveat is that you can't build a new house or a new barn or anything like that on that land. So, unexploded ordnance, obviously, this is just, the safety side. You can't do a military operation without talking safety. So if anybody were to ever come across anything like this, an unexploded ordnance or whatever, we encourage the public to call 911 and report it. If you happen to be on the installation and find something, obviously reach out to my operations team, and then we'll coordinate with the proper EOD folks to dispose of this. We've had people come to us in the past that they went through their grandfather's garage and found things that probably the grandfather shouldn't have had, but they did, and then we took it from them. We obviously disposed of it properly, but it does happen. So I mean, just cautious. Do not touch it. Stay away from it, and report it. And that is my update. Any dialogue or questions?
Council, staff, any questions of the Colonel? Anybody in the audience like to take a stab at him? What I meant by that. Anybody? This is your chance to get all your questions answered about Camp Ripley if you've got them. Apparently you did a good job.
Well, I don't know about that, but we'll be back again next year.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
All right, thank you. Thanks for coming. Okay, moving along. Any additions or changes to the agenda, Brad?
Yes, there are two removals. In relationship to the cancellation of the work session prior to the city council, we need to remove items 16 and 17 off of the consent agenda. Those will be placed on the April 1st council.
Okay. The next thing then is public comments. If anybody's here to address us about anything that's not on the agenda, we would entertain those comments at this time. It's right here. Follow the Colonel. Give us your name and address if you would.
I'm Paul Springstead. I live at 13803 Kelly Drive in Baxter, Minnesota. And the reason I'm here, I am the dog park Grinch that some of you probably know. Hopefully you got my emails, and I just here to just know my concern about about the proposed dog park. I want to thank you, Mayor Olson, for clarifying that I understand that there is dedicated funds for a park. And so in that respect, it's not from property taxes, but to me it still is kind of Baxter money. And my bias, when it comes to dedicated park fund, that would make sense to me, is we need another park over by Clearwater, just for residents. And I mean, you look at the map of Baxter, I think there are a number of parks around, but that's one area, definitely with all the apartments growing there, that makes sense to me. There should be a new park over there. But I think it should be more for residents. When it comes to a dog park, I mean, my advice would be, it'd be fine for the city to give some, as I noticed, like some barren land, or maybe there's some land around a water tower, around a public utility building that, it's fine to designate some land, definitely land that otherwise probably would not be used for residential purposes or any other housing. A concern I have with the dog park is its utilization. I talked to some people, they've been in towns where there's dog parks and it's not used that much. One concern is dog fights. My wife used to have dogs, and she would not take a dog to a dog park just because, again, concerns about possible fights there. And there's also the issue of who's going to clean up. I mean, supposedly dog owners are supposed to clean up after themselves, but just even around the city, I don't know how often that really occurs. And to me too, also Baxter, it's not like it's a very dense residential area. It's not like, you know, Manhattan in New York where there's not much space. I mean, one thing nice about Baxter is there's plenty of open space, we've got trails. You know, there's plenty of places to walk your dog, to have your dog out. I suppose, you know, there's no common area if you want to have a dog date with somebody else, but hopefully if you know their neighbors or neighbors or friends of dogs, you can arrange that. So I like dogs, but again, I get concerned about Baxter money being spent on a dog park, particularly when I saw in the dispatch about just the possible expense of it. So my advice is when it comes to the park money, it makes definitely be nice to have it in the park. I can go by Clearwater where there's again be more and more development. It makes sense. But otherwise, to me, when it comes to any type of Baxter money, government money, that I'm fine. Maybe again dedicate some land, but other than that, I think anything else it should come from you know, volunteers, contributions, civic organizations. You know, that it be raised otherwise. So. I think that's all I just say. I'm a little older, so hopefully we'll send out in here, but I think I hit my main points. So, anything else I'm supposed to mention? All right.
Well, thanks for
All right.
coming.
Thank you.
Enjoyed our visit today too, so.
All right. Thank you.
And actually, you know, Mark and Trevor were here, but that land was dedicated. Park land, right, when that black property was,
The piece, not right on Clearwater Road, but the majority to the south was all dedicated as parkland with the JMS project on Clearwater, Grand Oaks, and Greenbrier.
so when all that land was being developed and things were happening so quick, the Central Park scenario came to focus. We need to start saving something, and so the developer had to give that land. So that but we've all heard your comments now, and I appreciate you taking time to be here tonight. So thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we'll move on forward in the consent agenda then. The following items are considered non-controversial by staff and are recommended to be read and passed in one motion. Any person, citizen, or meeting attendee can request one or more items be pulled from the consent agenda, and the item will be pulled and addressed immediately after the passage of the consent agenda. Otherwise, the following items will be passed in one motion. Number 2, approve the City Council work session minutes from March 4th, 2025. Number 3, approve the City Council minutes from March 4th, 2025. Number 4, approve the payment of bills and finance report. Number 5, accept EDA minutes from March 4th, 2025. Number 6, accept the Utilities Commission minutes from March 5th, 2025. Number 7, approve the Fairview Office Park Stormwater Facilities Maintenance Agreement. Number 8, approve plans and specifications and authorize advertisements for bids for the 2025 microservicing project. Number 9, approve the SEH contract in the not to exceed amount of $26,000 for construction observation for the Timberland Heights Development 2401.22000, project number D2443A. Number 10, approve the SEH feasibility report update and the public hearing services contract in the not to exceed amount of $21,600 for the 2026 Clearwater Road, North Mendale area and Brentwood Circle Street Utility Improvement Project. Number 11, adopt resolution 2025-031, awarded contract A in the amount of $407,095 to Trout Companies for well construction related to the 2025 water supply improvements, wells number 5 and 6, municipal project number 6011-45040. Number 12, accept the revised version of the city's Baxter standard specifications and plan details. Number 13, approve the 2025 hydrant and water main plastic fitting review report. Number 14, adopt resolution number 2025-032, or preparation of report for the 2026 mill overlay and full depth reclamation improvements project, municipal project number 4425. Which ones were we?
16 and 17 are removed.
I'm sorry?
Items 16 and 17 are the items removed.
For 16, okay. 15, approval with the proposal for professional services in the not to exceed amount of $875 for the bridge number 18529 safety inspection report. And are we pulling that, tabling it, or
They're pulled from the agenda.
Let's pull it, we're gonna pull number 16, okay, number 17? Accept that of the 23rd?
17 as well. 16 and 17.
16 and 17 will be pulled. Number 18, approve the Pratt's Affordable Excavated Inc. change order number 2, extending the substantial completion date to October 10th, 2025, and the final completion date to October 31st, 2025 for the County State Highway 8 Highway 77 Utility Improvements Project, municipal project number 4118. Number 19, approve the Whitson fee amendment for professional services in a not to exceed amount of $14,400 for the 20-year public works facility assessment. Number 20, approve the revised installation and maintenance of mailbox supports on the City of Baxter roadway system policy. Number 21, adopt resolution 2025-033, approving the sale of lot 3, block 1, North Dale 6 edition, and authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documentation relating to the sale. Number 22, accept the Planning and Zoning Commission minutes from March 11th, 2025. Number 23, approve purchase of easements for parcel 4005063 and parcel 4005069, all lot A, common area, and for the 2025 design road and trunk highway 371 stormwater improvements project. Number 24, adopt resolution 2025-034 to amend resolution 2023-010, adopting assessments of certain properties for the 2023 Nova Drive Improvement Project, City Project 4132. Number 25, approve resolution 2025-035, authorizing the conveyance of the city's Clearwater Road properties to the Brainerd Drive one more time, Baxter Economic Development Authority. Number 26, adopt resolution 2024-090, approving a conditional use permit variance to allow accessory structure area to exceed 1,800 square feet for property located at 12700 Marcellus Drive.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Cross,
Second.
second by Lissu. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. No other business for other council comments?
I received a personal email from Pat Altractor, who's on the board for the Legendary Women Hall of Fame Selection Committee. And she asked me to extend an invitation to everyone in the city that the Hall of Fame ceremony for the Legendary Women will be Thursday, the 27th at the Kitchen City Center at 4:30. There's 5 women to be inducted. So invitation extended.
Okay, thank you. Zach?
No comment tonight.
Patrick?
Just want to let everybody know that the bike park at the Northern Arboretum is well underway, so they're moving dirt out there. If you haven't had a chance to swim out there and take a peek at their progress, you should, because it's going to be pretty impressive when it's done.
Awesome.
Very good. Mark?
No comment tonight.
Just one addition to what Patrick was talking about. He and I were at the county board meeting the other day, and the county board has approved this land swap scenario. It's a long story, but anyway, things are really, really moving forward now. It's pretty exciting. It's going to be a real shot there for the ARP and all of those volunteers and Patrick's a board member, and it's really going to be a good thing. And so appreciate the board's action on that. I just got a phone call when they saved the date, and it's way out there, but Essentia is calling for their groundbreaking May 13th at 5:30. Again, it's better to have a long fuse than a short one, but May 13th at 5:30, that evening, I think that's a Thursday, so be advanced warning about that.
Tuesday.
I'm sorry, Tuesday, whatever it is. That'll be an exciting time anyway. Yeah, correct, I'm sorry. That's all I got. City Administrator,
No report, Your Honor.
anything from our attorney?
Nothing to report from the attorney.
Okay. Look for an adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Yeah, but second by Patrick, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Mark. Mark for filling in last
Hey, no problem.